Hi, welcome to my channel. Today is another 4 looks using one palette. For today's video, we'll be using the Wet n Wild Rosé in the Air, number 758, which is this rosy palette. I believe it's supposed to dupe one of the Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes. It has some very wearable browns and then a pink and kind of orangey burgundy type of tone up here. So this is what we'll be using for today. If you're new to my channel, then you don't know that I do the same 4 looks using one palette. So look number 1 is your out the door wash of color, one color on your eye. Look number 2 is always your everyday look. What you wear to work, to run errands, whatever you have from the day to day, that's your number 2 look. And so we'll do 1, 2, wash it all off and come back and do 3. Number 3 is a little bit more elevated. It might be your date night or a happy hour look on this eye. And then look number 4 will be back on this eye and it's your more glam look. Now, glam is going to be a little bit tougher with this palette, but we are going to try anyways. I go back and forth between affordable and high-end palettes. I have a playlist of my 4 looks used in one palette, and I will add this to the playlist. I'll link it down below, and I'll link it up in the cards, as well as some of the other 4 looks with one palettes that I've used. So let's get into this one today. So I've already primed both of my lids. We will start with look 1 and look 2. These don't have any names, so we are going to have to relate, well, they're numbered. So I will call out the number and then I will also put a picture of the palette, probably up to this side, and I will highlight what color is being used in case it's difficult to find. But there is a number system back here. I will be going based off of this when I'm referring to what color I'm using, and if not, just look up on top and I'll have the colors up there. Starting for look number 1, your out the door everyday look, I'm going into color number 3. And so generally for my everyday look, I usually do a matte color, and today I'm doing a shimmer all over for my everyday look. And so with shimmers, I like to apply it with my finger. If I have time, I might blend it out with a blending brush, and if not, we're good to go. And there you go. Run out the door. Do what you gotta do. Okay, I'm going to set this with some mascara. First going in with L'Oreal Voluminous Original in Blackest Black. Ta-da! All right, let's go into look number 2. For look number 2, we're aiming for very wearable everyday look, okay? So I will be going into number 1 using a Morphe E27. And the palette does say transition on it, and guess what? That's what we're doing. We're using this as our transition color in our crease. I always do this. I forget to pin my bangs a little bit back so that it's a little easier to see what I'm doing. I need to put a sticky note somewhere that says, Krystle, put your bangs back. And now I'm going into a pencil brush. I'm going into a Morphe E36 into the same color, but I'm going to add it just under the waterline, just to smoke it out just a tiny bit. It's a very light color, so it shouldn't pop up too dark, but just to kind of smoke it out a little bit. And I apologize in advance. It's very windy outside, so I don't know if you can hear it, but it's a windy day. I just went into color number 3, and now I'm tapping it all over the lid. Okay, then back into my blending brush without any additional color, just to make sure that that's very nicely blended. Go back into shade number 3, just right here in the front. And just to highlight the brow bone just a little bit, this is a large shadow brush. I believe it's from Sephora. And I'm going in again to shade number 2. Just like so. And then using a Morphe E35 back into number 3, just to highlight right in the inner corner. And look 2, let's finish it off with some mascara. Now they look very similar, but I took a little extra time and put a little bit extra effort into look 2. Whenever you use a color in your crease, you're defining your eye a little bit more. So for an everyday look, I feel like this is acceptable. It doesn't take too long and you're still out the door in a hurry. So here we have look number 1, wash of color, one color, out the door. And look number 2, your everyday look, go run some errands. Just put a little bit of extra effort, but not too much. And you're ready to go. And I'm back. The first time I didn't put eye primer. I did, I just didn't record. This is the e.l.f. primer. I've never tried it. This is my first time trying it. I do like that it has a wand. Makes it easier to swoop on the lid. How are we gonna spice up look 3 and 4? 3 is your date night, happy hour. Oh, I have an idea. Okay, I'm gonna use my Morphe E27 and I'm going to use shade 4 and apply that in the crease. This color is a little bit mauvier. Let's hope this look can be a little bit elevated from the look before. Now these colors are not the most pigmented, but also this palette is usually between $4.99 and $5.99, so very affordable. If you're trying to think of some looks for Valentine's Day, any of these looks would do. This is a very romantic type of palette, so I feel like any of these looks would be appropriate for Valentine's Day date. Oh, it doesn't have much color, but it's there. I'm gonna go into my finger and see what happens. So this would be color number 5. It should be a darker shimmer. It's still not that dark. Okay, so what I'm gonna do first is I'm going into color number 9 with my finger still, and it's a dark brown color, and I'm going to lay that on my lid first, and then go back into color number 5 and put it on top of that. Okay, now before I do that, I'm going back into the same E27 to blend the colors out. See that? I feel like that color just like whisks away. It doesn't even stay on very well. I have this Colourpop E3 and I'm going to dig it into that shade number 5, and then I'm going to spray with MAC Fix Plus and get it a little wet, and then apply that over the lid and see if we're happier with that color payoff. Oh yeah. Ah! I thought about putting powder underneath just in case I had fallout, and I didn't because I was like, oh, these colors are not pigmented enough. I'm dipping back into the same number 5. Now I'm going into this Colourpop E17. It's a smaller blending brush. It's a little bit more tapered. It's just, I want to be more defined and I don't want to take any of this color off. So I'm going back into shade number 4 just to blend what we placed with the color 5 with our original crease shade. Now using the large shadow brush that we used earlier, it has no number or no name, and I think it's from Sephora, I'm going into color number 2 under the brow bone. Okay, we're gonna smoke this out a little bit more by putting some black eyeliner in the waterline. I'm using the Pixie Endless Silky Eye Pen. There we go. And I don't generally use shimmers underneath the eye, but I'm gonna do it this time. I'm using Morphe E32 in shade 5. I'm going to run it under my lower lash line. Okay, time for mascara. Going into my L'Oreal Voluminous Original in Blackest Black. So this look isn't the most sultry, but it is smoky. For someone who is afraid of smoky eye looks, this might be a look to consider. I'm also going into my L'Oreal Bambi Eye Mascara, just to give it a little bit of an extra oomph. And you know what, I forgot my inner corner, so we'll do that after I finish this. The Bambi Eyes, I'm only doing this on the top lashes. There we go. Morphe E35 into shade 3. And we'll do a little pop right here. There you have it. So for look number 4, the glam look, I think I'm going to attempt a cut crease. So, wish me luck. I'm not a makeup artist, so, you know, this may be a challenge. I'm going into Morphe E27 into color 1. Before I go any further, I'm going to put some powder underneath, because the last thing I want is to make a mess out of the bottom of my makeup. I used the Fenty powder under my eyes, so I'm just going to use that and then dust it off after I finish this eye, because I'm going into the dark brown. I think I'm going into the pink as well. Okay, going into a Colourpop E17 and dipping into number 8, which is the rosy pink. I'm going to apply that in the crease, but keeping it lower than the other color, just to give it some pinkiness here. And then we'll add some of the dark brown under this, which is number 9. Going back into my Morphe E27, back into shade number 1, I'm just going to blend those two colors together, make sure they are seamless before we go into an even darker color. Looking a little muddy, not gonna lie. So I'm applying more of the pinky color. I'm going into a Colourpop E19 into color 9, which is a dark chocolatey brown color, and I'm going very deep into the crease. And then in a little bit, I'm going to cut the crease, so it'll be even more defined in that crease. Going back into the Colourpop E17 and number 8, is it the pink color? 8? Just to blend them together. Okay, let's cut the crease. So I'm going to use, I think this is a lip brush, Colourpop L1, and I'll be using my Benefit Boing Cakeless Concealer. I have the number 5. I don't use this for regular concealer on my face, so from time to time when I make cut crease attempts, this is what I do. So I do apply it on the lid, and then I try to look up high to see if it transfers up, because that's where you want it to be. Now I may be out of frame for this because well, let's try it. I will use a small mirror and see if I can stay in frame. I just cleaned up the L1 brush a little bit. I'm going to mix both 8 and 9, the pink and the brown, and line right above that cut crease to make it super intense. Okay, then going back into my Colourpop E17, staying above that line. I'm going to attempt the same technique using MAC Fix Plus with shade number 3 this time. And I have a Colourpop E20 that I'm going to saturate in that color and then spray. Now, every part of me usually wants to put glitter on this part, but I want to keep it with the colors that I have in this palette. I don't want to add anything else. So this is what we have. This is what we're going to use. I mean, it really did pick up the metallic edge with the MAC Fix Plus, so not bad. Going back into, what is this? Colourpop L1 above that line just to make sure that it's really defined. Okay, now going back into Colourpop E17, back into number 8. And just start blending these two together. Go into the Colourpop E19 with number 9. And just deepen it up over here also. Okay, let's brush this off so we can work on the bottom. Okay, so let's smoke out the bottom. I'm going back into my Pixie Endless Silky Eye Pen for my waterline. Here's my mirror. Here it is. I need to sharpen this sucker. Let's see if I can get this in a view. Probably not. What else is new? I'm putting it in the waterline. So, how do I get... I have smudges everywhere. I don't know what that was. Let's use the Morphe E32 into shade number 9, which is that darkest shade, and smoke it out underneath and kind of blend that liner with that color. And to meet that brown, I missed some on the spot, so I'm going back into an E19 just to make sure it all matches right here. Perfect. Now going back into my E17, into number 8, and I'm running it under this brown. We need the eyeshadow brush, the one that's just an eyeshadow brush that says large shadow, into number 2. Going to attempt a wing for my glam side to make it more glamorous. Wet n Wild Breakup Proof Waterproof Liquid Eyeliner in Ultra Black. So let's see how big or small this ends up. So that's a wing, a little larger than I expected. you know, you mess up, you keep going, you mess up, you keep going, you mess up, keep it going. So this is where we're at. We're gonna roll with it. We're going to highlight the inner corner. Sure, let's use this one. Colourpop E20 into shade 3. Let's put a lot of it there. Let's make it really glow. Because at this point, what else? And a little bit under the brow bone here. Smooth it out with my finger. All right, we're leaving it there. So same mascara, double it up with the Voluminous Original first, and then in with the Bambi Eyes. And there you have the finished looks for look 3 and look 4. So more of a challenge with this palette than with the other palettes that I've had. Why? I feel because they're all very similar in tone and there were very few shimmers to use to really highlight my looks. But I feel like I was pretty successful. I feel like there are 4 very different looks and I feel like they increase in glam factor or smokiness as we move along. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with these looks. I've never used this palette and for $4 to $5, I mean, you really can't beat it. You can really create great looks for a very affordable price. And there's more looks to be done because there were several shades that I didn't use in this palette. So I'm pretty happy with, you know, look 3, a little bit more glam, a little date night, smoky but not too smoky. And then, you know, the wing. I mean, did I even need eyeshadow? Just the wing? Isn't that enough? If you're a false lash kind of gal, pop those on and bam, you're ready. I hope you enjoyed this 4 looks with 1 palette using a very affordable eyeshadow palette. We accomplished look 1, your wash of color, just 1 color over the lid, get some mascara on it maybe, you're out the door. Look number 2, everyday look, run some errands. Look 3, a little date night, a little happy hour with friends, and then look 4, a little more glamorous. Usually I'm very like, bam, glam, but I mean, it's there compared to the other looks, but it's not as glamorous as some of my other looks. But I do appreciate that there is no glitter in this because I know very many people don't like glittery looks. Glitter is not eye safe, and so it's very personal for people to use glitter on their eyes. And I don't mind using it, but I know that there's many people out there who don't prefer glitter on their eyes. So here you go, a palette with no glitter. And I think we accomplished the 4 looks. I want to thank you so much for watching. If you've not had the opportunity to subscribe to my channel, now would be the time to click that button. Also like and share with your friends and ring that notification bell. You'll be notified weekly of my newest uploads. Thank you so much for watching. See you on the next one.